Barakah blessing. We all ask Allah for Barakah, we all want Barakah, but what exactly is Barakah? In Islam, Barakah or Barakah is a kind of continuity of spiritual presence and revelation that begins with God and flows through that and those closest to God. In English we translate it to mean blessings. Unfortunately, this is a highly problematic translation as such a translation limits its actual deep and beautiful meaning. Barakah can be found within physical objects, places, and people, as chosen by God. This force begins by flowing directly from God into creation that is worthy of Barakah. These creations endowed with Barakah can then transmit the flow of Barakah to the other creations of God through physical proximity or through the adherence to the spiritual practices of the Islamic Prophet Muhammad. God is the sole source of Barakah and has the power to grant and withhold Barakah. Islamic mysticism. Barakah is a prominent concept in Islamic mysticism, particularly Sufism. It pervades Sufi texts, beliefs, practices, and spirituality. Sufism emphasizes the importance of esoteric knowledge and the spiritual union with God through the heart. Barakah symbolizes this connection between the divine and the worldly through God's direct and intentional blessing of those that are most reflective of Him and His teachings. Barakah is not a state, it is a flow of blessings and grace. It flows from God to those that are closest to God, such as saints and prophets. Those that have received Barakah are thought to have the abilities to perform miracles karamat, such as thought reading, healing the sick, flying, and reviving the dead. However, according to Abd al-Karim ibn Hawazin Qushayri, a prominent Sufi mystic, the use of these miracles and the actual possession of these abilities are not indicative of a saint's status. However, the performance of these miracles by prophets is important to establish credentials. Arab linguists break down the word Barakah into three main parts or meanings. The first part of the word Barakah is to do with increase and growth. Don't worry, I'll explain what they mean one by one, inshallah. It means for something to grow and increase in number or volume. Ziyada. So when something has Barakah it grows and it increases. Fakathawak, above and beyond expectations. So part of what Barakah means is that logic says when you plant one seed in the ground, you expect one tree to come out of it. But in return you get 10 trees. Or after 10 years you come back and you get a forest in return. That is Barakah. You may have heard people say, I remember I started my business in my garage with only 5,000 rupees my dad gave me. Today after 15 years I have branches of my company in 5 different countries. You may hear some people say, in my first year, I struggled to find one student to come to my classes. But today my school has grown so much that I have to turn away students because I don't have capacity even though I have expanded 3 times already. The second part of Barakah is ibtharakat as-sama. It's like when something keeps coming continuously, like when the rain keeps on coming and it keeps on coming and it doesn't stop. So continuity is also part of the meaning of Barakah. It's not something that is temporary. Usually when something grows or increases, such as a huge building that keeps growing, or the economy suddenly improves beyond expectation, the fear is that the crash is also around the corner. Economies that grow too fast are at a risk of crashing fast too. Or what was fashionable yesterday is outdated today. The companies yesterday have gone bankrupt today. However, the third part of the meaning of Barakah has something to do with camels. The Arabs call a camel that kneels or sits down as Barakah. This is because anyone who has had any experience with a camel will know that when a camel sits down it's very difficult to get the camel to stand back up again. And when the camel has sunk in the sand, the camel is extremely stable and stays in its place. Meaning, there is no risk in the camel or the rider falling down, it doesn't go anywhere. Similarly, Barakah is something that is stable. It's not like an economy that rises and crashes, it's not like the fashion that comes and goes, it is something that stays. In Surah Arkansas Rahman, the first ayat of that surah is Arkansas Rahman,